everyone, it's me, Marilyn Aloria, and I am so excited to be here there with you today because we're going to talk about when you have that big dream and all of a sudden everything just goes to pot, or you think it's going to pot and it's failing miserably, and you just are just so feeling so insecure, like, what? I listened and I stepped out on that dream and then the shit at the fan, and you're just feeling completely insecure, and then maybe things don't work out, like they just did not work out, and then you're wondering, what do I do now? And how many of you have turned off the light to that dream? So we're going to talk about my SAS technique, which is part of my Soul Finder Academy program, which I'm going to tell you a little bit about today. And the SAS technique, we're going to walk through this together. I'm going to show you how to go from a dream that you feel that failed and how you can go through these 4 pillars to create something that's even more magical, something that's even better. Because so many times those things happen to help us grow, to help us build character building moments is what I call them. So I'm going to give it a couple of seconds for people to join us. I really would say, give yourself the opportunity to really enjoy this training with me, because it's not something that you can go in and out of and you can go on your friend's profile. You really, really need to be here with me and to, I'm trying to do a million things at once and that doesn't work ever. Not for me. Anyway, it's going to really help you to be in that place of where I want you to be, which is really getting from that crappy place, that insecure moment, that it's never going to change moment, to the places of synchronicity, which is the last S in SAS. So we're going to talk about that. So we got a bunch of people on. Great. I put a question up just the other day and it said, what insecurity would you love to turn into empowerment? So let's start there real quick. What insecurity would you love to turn into empowerment? Now, I would have loved, as you can tell, sometimes I come on these lives and I'm like this, but I was just on, we do a weekly Q&A call in Soul Finder Academy where I answer any question they have, whether it's a reading question about the material, about their life. They're very in-depth questions, and I'm very in-depth answers. And so we were just talking over there about, COVID-19 and how it's affecting lives, or how it's affecting their lives. And what we were talking about is the big image that God gave me, Spirit gave me, my guides, was we're all just walking around with a plug in our hands right now. And we have this plug, and we took it out of our old lives. We unplugged it. And some of us are waiting to see what happens before we plug it into something. And Spirit's like, don't do that. You need to plug it in now. You need to plug it into your dreams. You need to plug it into what you desire. So we're going to talk a bit about that. I'm going to give you tools and techniques and things that I use in order to plug my plug in and to trust myself that I'm plugging it in the right outlet, that I am going towards the things that I want to go to. So my question first to all of you is, what insecurity, let's start with the insecurity. What insecurity would you like to turn into empowerment? What insecurity would you like to turn into empowerment? So we have Kim here said, my insecurity is speaking my truth. My empowerment would be speak honestly from my heart. And I know I was heard and safe in doing so. That's a big one, right? I'm constantly speaking my truth and pissing people off. And then I'm afraid to speak my truth because I'm going to piss people off and they're not going to invite me to play tennis. And then I'm uncomfortable because I didn't speak my truth. I just talked about this in SFA, Kim, I just talked about how I shared a moment with them on the tennis court and something that happened and how I stood in my truth. And then the person who did something, it actually showed up, that person did it to someone else and then did it to someone else. And I'm like, see, so you get vindicated. But everything that we do right now, especially during this moment, is living from our own truth. And you guys have dreams. You have dreams that you want to make come true, that maybe you've been wanting to make come true for many, many years, and they haven't come true. Or you did it and it failed miserably, so you gave it up. But in your heart's like, why aren't you doing that thing? Why aren't you doing that thing? I can't do that thing. I'm too old. Whatever the story is that you tell yourself. So we're going to talk about that dream that you still want to make happen. And maybe you failed miserably at it, or something really bad happened and you had a really bad insecure moment and it knocked you down. It knocked you down so bad that you're having problems getting up. So that's an insecurity. So how many of you I'm giving you 2 things at once, but really I'm not, they're the same things. So how many of you have had that experience with a dream that it was so like disruptive when you went for it that you got so insecure about seeing it through that you can't see it through. And what was that insecure moment? Was it speaking your truth? Or Camille said the feeling of insecurity, of loneliness. Are you afraid of being alone? Let's see, I'm trying to say someone else. Connie said fear of speaking truth, fear of success, Steve said. Relationship with others that are not my family. That's an interesting one. Like you want to dive deeper into that. Deidre, I love this one because this one I relate to too. I don't feel like I fit in. Ooh, that's like friggin' me all the time, especially because I'm always speaking my truth. Nancy said self-doubt. So this is what we really, really want to work on. So, and Meredith, I'm going to have to get on you about that self-doubt thing. So let's see. Nancy says being judged. Great. Sue says speaking my truth is the big one. Man, I freaking got to tell you a story because I just told it in SFA, Soul Finder Academy. Overly concerned what people may think of me, judgment. Okay. So you could see like these are really good ones. And these are ones that I understand really, really well. I want to stop trying to be all things to all people. Love that one, Mary. Such a good one. Hello, Dale. Donna. Hi, Donna. Yes, fear of success, fear of failure, not being good enough. Hi, Soul Star. My Soul Stars are on here, so make sure. Hi, Pam. So guys, by the way, when you go into my messenger or you may see on my Facebook Live, you may see Pam's name. Pam is one of my coaches. She works on my team. And I can't reach out to everyone. I'm in Membership for Your Soul. We have over 250 people in there. And then I have Soul Finder Academy that goes anywhere from 25 to 40 people. And then I have my own creative projects. So I have people on my team that handle different things. So you may see Pam's name. Pam may be responding to you. I've heard nothing but great things about her. She's new on our team about a month or a month and a half now. And I know a few people have talked to her already. So if she reaches out to you, she's an extension of me. So just know that, like, it's because I can't get to everybody. She's an extension of me. So everybody say hi to Pam. Okay. So let's continue on this conversation because I could tell that this is a really good one. Donna said fear of failing yet again. Love this one because I know this one. This is great. I'm good for you, Shelly. She says, I make them come true and love every small step or lesson along the way. Good for you, Shelly. I wonder if you're the same person. You're not. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So speaking truthful and being rejected. And then Gia says, I love working with Pam. I know Gia had a conversation with Pam, so that's great. So let's talk about this. Sally said, okay, so that's an excuse, Sally, that I won't accept. I'm a Scorpio. So I had so many conversations in Soul Finder Academy, and I'm going to tell you about Soul Finder Academy because if you think it's a fit, I would suggest filling out the application that I have for you and seeing if it's a fit for you and then getting on the phone with Pam or talking to Pam about it because it really is a program that is changing people's lives. And Lisa's on it. Lisa took the program. I'm sure she doesn't mind me calling her out. So it really does help you to move from insecurity into synchronicity. So what I want to talk to you about is this technique that I have called the SAS technique. But before I go into that, I want to continue to bring up the idea of this insecurity or this dream that you want to make happen. I got to stop. I got to slow down a second. There's a reason why I have to slow down because something's coming up for me right now. And as any of you know, the way that I work, I'm always in touch with my guides. So they may stop and make me pause for a second. And that's why sometimes I'll seem a little all over the place. It always summarizes in the end, which is why I ask people to stay with me until the end because the golden nuggets get taken there. So for those of you who have been hearing a little about Soul Finder Academy, want to know more about it, you could put chat in the box and you will get taken to the application and fill it out. Some of you might have filled it out already with the life expansion questions. And then you can let us know if you're interested in learning more about the program. So you just could chat down below, but I'm going to explain more about this in a second. So first thing I want to say to all of you is I've had a few conversations with people in Soul Finder Academy just today, and it's really bothering me. There's this misnomer out there that once you do this work or once you take a course or once you do that certification program, everything's healed, everything's done, you're okay. How many of you struggle with that? Like you're like, wait, I've been in therapy for so many years and nothing's changed. Or I took that angel certification class and nothing's changed for me. So I'm really getting tired of the spiritual teachers out there that are saying, take this activation and you're going to be cured for life. It's not fucking true. What you're doing, what you want to do is make sure that you go into a program where you're getting techniques and tools to navigate your life. Because the bigger you get, the greater you get, the more there's going to be, there may be experiences that come down the pike that disrupt you. But when you have the tools and techniques to handle disruptions, they don't last as long. You don't make poor decisions. You learn how to make good decisions in the disruptions that lead you into further greatness. Now, how many people think about Oprah? Think about Tony Robbins. Think about somebody that you like, think about Obama, don't get into politics with me, please. I don't do politics. Think about Trump. I don't care who you follow, right? And I'm telling you, do not get into politics. I'll throw you off my thing. But any of those people, any people, wherever they are, at any level that they're at, they still have problems, but they're a leader in their problems. They take leadership ability in their problems. So what bothers me is I see spiritual teachers out there spewing, take this activation and you're going to be great. But they never come out and tell you their honest stories of what happens or what's going on behind the scenes. And that bothers me. It bothers me so much. So in my programs, my Soul Finder Academy, especially, because that's, membership for your soul, I friggin' love. I can't say anything, but it's a different program. There's a lot of other teachers in there. There's me in there also. But Soul Finder Academy, I'm taking them through a 16-week course. I'm doing Q&A every single week. If you're interested in Soul Finder Academy, you could put chat and you'll see the application. You can get on the phone, Pam. We are not hard sellers. We only want people in the program that want to be in the program. I do not want people in there that don't want to be in there. Please don't come. So anyway, so I see, I tell my students, they know what's going on with me. They know what I'm using. So they get to see my stories firsthand. So the past couple of weeks have been emotional for me. I have been really feeling like I'm coming apart at the seams, and it's friggin' uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And here I am in my own, I have a mastermind that I'm in, with other people that are these high powered players. And I'm coming in I'm feeling like a little mouse, why am I dealing with this? And feeling really uncomfortable and getting woken up in the middle of the night because I'm anxious and I'm fearful. But here's the difference. I have the tools and the techniques to understand exactly what I'm going through, when I'm going through it, and how to take myself through it. So I'm not sitting there guzzling the vodka, eating the chips, crying my eyes out for days on end, not able to get up and do anything. That's not me. Instead, I'm the one who's getting up and journaling and meditating. I went for a hike and run today, found another hike that apparently leads to ponds. I can't wait to try it tomorrow. I'm meditating. I'm talking to, people that I really love and care about. I'm talking to my guides. I'm channeling. I'm doing all this stuff that's helping me to walk through the journey so that I don't shut down my dreams, so I don't shut down my possibilities, so I don't shut down what's growing inside of me. I'm going to try not to curse, so that I can reach even bigger and greater opportunities and come through the other side. How many of you want that? How many of you want that? So I'm just going to show this because Lisa, I just friggin' love her. And Lisa, we need to touch base. Voxer me. I want to know how you're doing. I haven't talked to you in a while. She says, I'm going to review SAS again to navigate the situation. I ended up getting the position I want at work, money, everything. However, COVID came along and messed up the pay part and hours. So this is great. Lisa knows how to do the work. Lisa did. She went into SAS, into Soul Finder Academy, which is, if any of you are interested, hit chat and you can get the application. But I am going to tell you stories. I'm going to teach you the SAS technique right now. So stay with me because I know some of you can't do it, and that's fine. And for those of you that are interested, you're going to get a taste of it. You're going to get a really good taste. So she went in, she wanted a specific job, and she went through all the things, and she got the job that she wanted. And then I think, Lisa, what's interesting about this is that a lot of your mediumship abilities, a lot of your psychic abilities, a lot of your empathic abilities opened up bigger, even bigger. You accepted them because she knew she had it, but she didn't embrace them more through the program. I think what's happening to you in your business, I think you need to be open to it and definitely go through a little bit of SFA and Voxer me, honey. I'll give you some advice because I feel like Spirit's pushing you to another level of your life. And what I would want you to do is go back through Soul Finder Academy. Don't go through all the lessons. Pick a lesson per week, whatever jumps out at you, and take this problem through it. And you may even just do lesson from month 1, lesson from month 2, lesson from month 3, lesson from month 4, and take it through, and it'll take you through it, sweetie, okay? So, okay, great. So let's talk. So a lot of you are relating to what I say. This is true, yeah. Lisa had all these psychic gifts when she was younger, and I'm not going to tell her personal story, but she, wasn't accepted for them. And now, like, I saw this happening to her. She's a nurse, and I saw her like embracing this new job, but then I saw all these her gifts just like opening. She was accepting them again. So something else is happening here, honey. Something bigger and greater. Oh, thank you, Sharon. So here's the thing that I want to say to you. So think about that dream that you really want to make happen. Think about a dream, something that you've been really working on and it's not moving forward for whatever reason, or you had an experience where you hit a wall or something. No, it is not free, Tina. Soul Finder Academy is a paid program, but what I'm teaching you right now is free. But Soul Finder Academy is not free. But thank you for asking that question, because it's a good clarifying question. So you can go to soulfinderacademy.com and read about it. The price is on that. So think about an insecurity. Think about something that you really wanted to happen. Okay, so I'm going to tell you my story. I'm going to take you through my stories. Everybody, I want to know if people are ready first. So I want to say, yes, I have it. Or give me the insecurity or the dream. So let me see a couple of those first so that I can see that you guys are, it's totally fine, Tina. It's a great question, honey. And welcome. Just list, I want to see what you're dealing with, because I'm going to take you through the SAS technique. And I'm going to take you through this technique, through this problem that you may be having, or this dream that you want to make happen, or this insecurity that you want to happen. And Lisa, if you can stay with me, do that. Okay, so Steve said he's ready. So I want to see some more readies about this. And for those of you who just want to know more about SFA, you can even, Soul Finder Academy, it's what we called. You can put chat in there, fill out the application. And in the application, just say, I'd like to know more through Messenger. Don't call. I don't want to talk to you on the phone. Just let me know more, and Pam will let you know more. So it's totally fine. Like I said, we are not like, we're cool about all that kind of stuff. Okay, ready? Let's go. So Nancy says, hi, Nancy. I wrote you back today. Nancy. All right. So you have a dream. So I'm going to tell you my dream. And I love telling stories. And I'm going to take you through this first pillar. So everybody has that thing that they want to make happen in their life, right? I'm not seeing the yeses, but hopefully the likes and the loves are happening. So I was living in an apartment in Los Angeles. My soul stars know the story already. And I got called a CUNT by my neighbor. I had another neighbors whose dogs would come out in the balcony and bark at 3 o'clock in the morning. And it sounded like they were in my bedroom. And it was just, and the neighbors downstairs got into atrocious fights where they would trash the entire place. And here I am, a medium. I'm new to my work, and I'm starting to channel and sound. I'm super sensitive to sound. And I'm like in this apartment, and I'm in debt. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I've got to get out of this place. And I never grew up with a home. So in my house, the way we grew up in a railroad. We owned the house, but it was a railroad apartment. And once I turned 21, my father and mother were divorced. My father and mother had to sell the house and split the price. So my mother could never fix the house up, because one, she was raising 4 of us by herself and she couldn't afford it. And number 2, she didn't want to put money in the house because she knew he would benefit. And my father barely paid child support, blah, blah, blah. I'm fine with my father. I love my father. He passed last year. I miss him. But we lived in a house that was just falling apart. Backyard gross. So I always wanted a home, but I couldn't see how that could possibly happen. Does anybody understand this? Like, they have that dream, and how could you possibly have it if you've never had the experience of it ever? So what did I do? I sat there and I made vision books. A vision book is stronger than a vision board. I started getting conscious to how I was growing up. So the first S in SAS is subconscious thinking. It's the belief that's keeping you from having the dream. So I'd love feedback on this. Like, Lisa, if you want to play along, Nancy, people I know. Hi, Janet. What is the belief that is keeping you from having the dream? So my belief was, I'm in debt. How the frick can I buy a house? Or even, so I started looking to rent a house, and the rents were really high. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? I need to get out of this apartment. I'm barely making money right now. How am I going to be able to afford something else? I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I'll never forget the day when the guy called me a CUNT, and I was beside myself, and nobody came out of the apartments to help me. And we had a screaming match. And he woke me up at like in the middle of, it was like 2 a.m. having a party out on the balcony. And I asked him to just be quiet. Doesn't matter. Woke up the next morning, horrified, so upset, went to the beach with my dog and was like, I felt so trapped. I was like, I'm never getting out of here. Never getting out of here. So that's subconscious thinking. I had to change that belief. I had to know where it originated from, and I had to change it. And mine came from my upbringing. Of course, you're growing up poor. You're not going to get anything better. When you turn 21, you lose your home because your parents have to go to court and then sell the house. So you're not going to have your home anymore. So, oh my goodness, Marilyn's turning 21. We're not going to have a home. Imagine that kind of story in your life. So I had to get real with my subconscious thinking. And my subconscious thinking was a bit like Lisa's: fear, not being good enough. So that's the first S. So I would love, love, love if you guys feel vulnerable enough, and if you need help, you don't know what your subconscious thinking is, I would love to know what you think the belief is that's keeping you from having your dream. What is the belief that's keeping you from having your dream? But Donna, see, this isn't good enough. My subconscious won't let me sleep. I get it. But you need to know what is in your subconscious that won't let you sleep. Just our subconscious waking us up, sweetie, going to keep happening to you. So you have to dig deeper. And that's what the S in SAS does, Soul Finder Academy. The first S is subconscious thinking. So it's getting clear. The first S is subconscious thinking, and it's about getting clear about the belief that you're holding that is keeping you from having what you want. So just saying your subconscious won't let you sleep, there's a belief there that's not allowing you to have it, okay? So that's the first one. So you have to know what that belief is. So Lisa's playing along with me, so hers is fear. So her fear is probably money's drying up, where am I going to work? I need to make money, whatever it may be. I'm not good enough, whatever it is. Steve's is my family is unlucky with money and investments. Very good. So he's aware of his subconscious belief. So you want to know, still, Donna, I'm going to help you further because I know you're probably not the only one struggling with this. Outside interference is not specific enough to work on it. Okay, sweetie? So what's the outside interference? So what's one of the things I teach? All your truth is in here, not out there. I don't care what's happening to you. I don't care what people are doing to you. I know Lisa knows this. She said because of COVID-19, the pay is starting to shift. We can believe, I know there's a lot of shit going on right now with COVID-19. We could believe that all the power is outside of us, and then your life will continue to be obstructed, destructed, taken apart because of that. You have to know that you create your life from the inside out. It's a good one, Gia. Sorry about this. Definite self-worth issues from 7-year-old child abuse. So she knows it. She knows that this is where a lot came in. This is a really good one, Paula. Thank you for this. Paula said, and Paula's a soul star. If you're a soul star, remember to put soul star. You'll never be able to make it. Why bother? I know that one really well. That's a good one. So I'm going to keep reading some of these because I really want to take you guys through this SAS technique. Fear of failure. So what you want to do with this, Amy, is where did that originate? Where was the first time that you experienced failure? Paula, what you want to do is where was the first time that you can remember? And it could have been yesterday. It doesn't have to be 5 years old, doesn't have to be 12 years old. You'll never be able to make it. Why bother? Who told you that? Where did that originate? We're not here to beat up parents or beat up the teachers. We just want to know where it originated. Mary says, I have a limited belief about money and being a spiritual person, root of all evil, BS. Yes. So I was raised Catholic and definitely had some of that as well. And you want to know where it originated. The idea, guys, what I'm trying to do to you is to stop giving it power. The first S in the subconscious thinking is about not giving it power anymore. You're not going to give it power anymore. So I'm going to take you to the next one in a second by telling you my story. But I still want to help some of you guys out here too. So Donna said, Donna's is long. Mine is fear, and I was told by my parents. Okay, Donna, she did it. She did exactly what I'm asking all of you to do. Mine is fear. You didn't know I was asking this. Mine is fear, and I was told by my parents when I was 6 years old that I couldn't do something that I had done and was proud of myself for. I went out on my own and sold little books to people. I love that. My parents told me it wasn't safe and I couldn't do things like this. I think it was programmed deep within me. She knows where it originated. She knows where this fear came from, this limiting belief. Now, her parents were just trying to keep her safe. We don't need to make her parents wrong. We don't, like Donna, I hope Donna's still with me. This would be considered outside interference, but we don't give it power anymore. All we want to do is know where it originates so we could stop it now, okay? So Kathy, thank you for sharing. Thank you, everybody, for sharing, by the way, because I know it's a very vulnerable conversation in a public forum. So I really appreciate that. Not good enough, undeserving, good things don't happen for me. This is so good, Kathy, because I know this one too. So we're discussing my class called Soul Finder Academy, which if you want to know more about, you can put chat in the thing below. Fill out the application if you're interested in learning more. It is a paid program. We'll get in touch with you. If you just wanted to look at the application and say, just send me more information, we'll message you more information. We are not big time sellers at all, but I think it's an incredible program that's changing people's lives. So I want to help change more people's lives. I have not come out publicly with this program. I've kind of done it in membership. I talk about it a little bit, and that's why. So the first test, the subconscious thinking, Donna did it really, really well. Okay. So what you want to do, you see Steve, so this is great. Steve also did it. Steve said, my family and my money isn't good, investments. So Steve, this is really great that you're doing this because you're recognizing where it's originating. It's not your belief. It's a belief that was given to you that you've adopted on your own that is still ruling your life. So it's that outside force that Donna Wolf said, which I love that she was answering that way because I want to get you guys thinking deeper. It's that, my Brooklyn accent's getting so much stronger and I'm just going to let it go. It's that outside force that we're giving power to. That's not your truth. That's not your wisdom. It's not true. Janice says, I can only do reverse selling. As soon as I try to sell something to someone, they choose the opposite. I fear not being taken seriously. You know, Janet, can you get in touch with me, honey? Because I want to try to help you a bit through this. Janet's a soul star. But what I would say for you, sweetie, there's a belief here. Do you know what that belief is? And then I would say go through SFA again with that belief because that's going to help you. I want to know how far you got through stuff with that. Okay, great. So now let's continue on. So the first one was subconscious thinking, right? So my subconscious thinking about the house was, you can't do this, you know, you can't afford it, you're a poor kid from Brooklyn, who do you think you are, having a house, whatever the things, you're trapped, you're stuck, nothing's ever going to change, nothing ever works out for you. And I had to really get clear with myself and say, no, this is not my truth anymore. This is my past. So I started visualizing and I was like, I'm going to rent a house, I'm going to rent a house, I'm going to rent a house. And I started this vision book that I teach in Abundant Living with Your Guides. And I did this vision book and I wrote down everything that I wanted in this house. And I got my friend to help me. I'm going to give you number 2 in a second. Hold on. You would think I'd be prepared, but I'm not because I'm running from one thing to another. So I started getting in alignment. So that's the A in SAS, alignment. I started remembering who I am. I started remembering now, if God doesn't speak to you guys, that's totally cool. But I started remembering that, like, I am so much bigger than these beliefs. I'm so much bigger than the school teachers that told me I was worthless. I'm so much bigger than the sexual abuse that happened. I'm so much bigger than the alcoholism that was around me. I'm so much bigger than my own drugging and drinking days and beating people up. You know, like I have a past. I have a friggin' past. I'm so much bigger than that. And I was already in communication with my guides, which I think is key. And I was like, I'm so much bigger than all this. Spirit keeps telling me I'm so much bigger than this. But when your mind doesn't believe it, you've got to go with the alignment in your heart. So the second A, the A in SAS, is all about remembering who you are. Remembering who you are. So right now, I would love, like that, Donna, I would love all of you, especially those of you who've really been playing with me here, to tell me, who do you remember that you were? Give me one great character trait. Go back to the age of 5, 6 years old. One of the first memories you have. Donna, go back to selling the books. You know, no matter what that experience was, there was a part of you that was so aligned when you were doing that. Go back to that. Janet, like, you love selling what you sell, you know, go back to that. Lisa, there's a part about being a nurse that was so, you know, because you were such a healer when you were a kid. Go back to that. So what is the alignment that you were? See, so Donna says, hi, Helene. She says, very trusting and loving. Beautiful trait. Remembering who you are. Okay. This is so, I'm going to go back to the problem a second, just because Maurice he's a soul star too. I was leaving told you'll never get what you want over there, and no support from family until I started moving forward on my own. So it's so good. Steve, unstoppable. Lisa, caring. I love this, love this, love this. Donna says compassion. See, we can come up with this. I love this. Kathy says strong. This is so good. So my alignment for buying this house was pretty much invincible. When I set my mind to something, I make it happen. I make it happen. When I'm really so focused on something that nobody's shit can get into my world, I make it happen. So I didn't know how it was going to happen. I think I was on unemployment, actually. And I didn't know how it was going to happen. But I just knew subconsciously, I worked on the belief system that I get to have what I deserve, that it's not true. Alignment, remember who I am. I was a child that was like vivacious, assertive. I was told those were negative things. They weren't. I was a child that when I wanted something, I went for it. Even though, you know, until I was told that was rude, you know, but I wasn't rude. I would go, like, my mother was so proud of me. I was at Godspell, and they were having wine during the intermission, and they were giving away the wine bottles, and she didn't know where I went. And she said she looked up and I was on the stage. I walked up to the stage. He had one wine bottle left, and I said, I want it. And I was like 6 or 7. And he was like, well, come up here. What are you going to give me for it? And I said, a piece of gum. And he was like, how about a kiss? And I was like, I don't think so. Just give me the wine bottle. And my mother said she looked up, and there I was on the stage, and she was like, what's going on? And she was so proud of me in that moment. That's who I was. But you forget that stuff. You totally forget it. So that's alignment. I'm going to tell you the story of the house. But Tina, I want to go back to you a second, honey, because I love honesty on my Facebook Lives. People know me. She says, I'm not really sure if this is where I belong. My issue is fear, but it has to do with the future and our own one destiny that we all will face one day. So, Tina, that is, I hear this a lot from people, that they take on the human race, the world. You know, you may be a very feeling person, a very empathic person, and I'm sure many people in my audience relate to what you're saying. But we can't do everything in the mass consciousness. We have to kind of move away from mass consciousness, get into our own empowerment, and then we can create change from there. So I don't know that you're not in the right place, but I don't know that we're addressing those. Like, if you could take that issue and take a bit of what I'm saying, you may get to a further truth about what you're supposed to do in this world, okay? And if it doesn't feel right for you, honey, then you just have to trust that. Okay, so alignment. Love this, Janet. Completely confident and outgoing at age 5. Then by 7, I was insecure and introverted. I haven't been able to unearth why, despite looking at it for decades. So what I would suggest to anybody who can't remember why that particular change happened, all I would suggest you do, Janet, is and we have it in membership, the inner child work. You want to just do some work with that 7-year-old where you start empowering her, where you let her know that she doesn't need to hold that any longer, that you're the adult. So if some of you can't remember where it originated, but you know the belief is there, you can still work with rewriting the belief and aligning. So the confident, and I can help you with this, Janet. If you write me an email, if you want to write it through Laura, and I'll leave you a message and a video, I'll do that for you, sweetie, and try to help you through this. But you can take this, the 5-year-old and the higher self and you, who you are today, and have a conversation with that 7-year-old that helps you to become this. We've done a lot more, and since you left SFA, we've done a lot more inner child work that has helped people to bridge that. So I'd like to help you with that. Okay, great. So now, thank you. Telling you that Brooklyn accent's just getting stronger. I have no idea why. I used to study with Tom Hanks's dialect coach, and she's very good. It was me who sucked. Okay, so the house. So alignment, right? I want the house. I'm visioning it. So my friend, who was my friend at the time, was a realtor, and she's like, all right, I'm going to help you find a house to rent. It's not what I normally do. Let me run your credit. She runs my credit, and she finds out that my credit is through the roof, incredible. And the mortgage broker in her office said she really should buy a house. Her credit's so freaking good. And she said to me, you need to buy a house. And I'm like, I can't buy a house. I'm like in debt. I don't have payroll. How am I going to buy a house? But she kept planting the seed. You need to buy a house. So I'm aligned. I have my subconscious thinking. I'm not allowing that to rule my life. I'm aligned, right? And now I'm in the next S, which is soul ignition. Soul ignition. So we're going to talk to you. So soul ignition. So this is where, and for those of you who may be interested, talking about what I teach in my Soul Finder Academy, and you can put chat in below, and that will take you to the application where you can fill it out, and we can tell you about Soul Finder Academy. You can either get on a call or just ask us to message you information, and you can find out more about Soul Finder Academy, which is a really great program. Okay, so now soul ignition. So those of you who are playing with me, this is the part where that light that went out, like Janet, if you're still on, honey, that light that went out at 7 years old, we start lighting it up again. We start lighting it up. So we don't sit here and try to talk therapy, reverse the thinking, reverse the belief. We know what the belief is. We know where it originated, hopefully. We know that we are incredible beings, that we're funny, that we're courageous, that we're healers, all those character traits that you gave me. Now we need to ignite it. We need to light it up so that it's bigger than life, that it's bigger than the belief. How do you do that? You do that by doing things that you love to do. You do that by inviting in joy, not by focusing on the problem and the scarcity and the lack. It's by bringing in the joy. So soul ignition is really like key. It tells the universe what you want. Because when you're in soul ignition, the universe is now like, oh, she's not focused on that she sucks at sales, or that she's losing money at her job, or that the family never does well and they're poor and they're living in a broken down house. She's focused on that she's vivacious and she's assertive and she's fun. And now she's starting to have fun. Oh, we can give her more of this. No problem. No problem at all. So now I want to hear from all of you. What is something joyful? You may think it has nothing to do with your dream, and that's even better. And Janet, if you're still on here, I want to hear from you. Lisa, if you're still on here, I want to hear from you. Donna, people that have been answering. Steve, what's something that lights you up? Something that you can do. So for me, it was working with my vision book, pulling more pictures. It was going around neighborhoods and looking at houses and envisioning myself living in them. It was going to see houses, open houses, and just walking through them and allowing myself to dream about it. It was me going to the beach and getting out of the apartment and knowing I was going to leave and just allowing myself freedom. It was me dreaming about what I wanted to live. What was my backyard going to be like? What kind of flowers were I going to have? What was my kitchen going to be like? I was in complete joy. I was in complete joy. So Lisa said, I started walking, going to coffee shops, reading different books, sitting in nature and trying different things. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Linda, this is what you want to do. You want your light back on. So we're asking you to turn back your light. Going to the beach, wanting a pool forever. Okay. So going to the beach and then looking at pictures of pools and maybe going to a public pool if there's one in your area and swimming in that pool. You've got to make things happen. Or the feeling that being in a pool gives you. Maybe the feeling is that you're like just swimming, right? And you feel free. Okay, so where else do you feel free? You know, break it down. Lisa, play with me because I know you know how to play with me. Going to these coffee shops, reading all these things, what kind of feeling does that give you? That's what I'd like to know. Tina said creativity. Tina's still with us. Great. But Tina, I want you to break things down even more specific. What kind of creativity? What is creative for you? What is creative? So here we go with the alignment, right? So for my alignment, like I said, subconscious thinking, I'm done with that. Not believing anymore that I can't have a house. Alignment, starting to believe that I can have it. I'm vivacious. I'm assertive. I always make things happen when I really want it. My soul ignition is envisioning it, telling the universe this is what I want. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm going to believe in it. It's going to happen. And getting into that creativity of that, you know, not walking around looking at big houses going, I'll never have that. My life sucks. Instead going, wow, I wonder what that looks like inside. Imagining myself inside. I used to do this all the time. I'd walk around these really nice neighborhoods and I would just look at the houses and be like, oh, I can see myself in the kitchen and the backyard. And I would just like, I'm telling you, I went into a parallel life. I just went into worlds. So let's see what you guys do. And I may have to go turn on my AC because it's a little hot down here now. So I'm trying to grab some. Brought my dream house back 3 times over. Good for you. Good for you. Okay, so singing, dancing, making good investments. Good. Love that. Carving a walking stick allows me to create while letting my subconscious work through stuff. Love that, Steve. That's great. But, you know, I'd like that to be more specific now because you said money was the issue, right? So I would like, while you're carving that stick, to envision yourself flowing with cash or telling the universe how you'd like to make money or how much money you'd like to have in your bank. So while you're doing the joyful thing, you want to also be tackling the thing that you feel is a problem in your life or the dream you want to make come true. So Lisa, I'm thinking that you're saying that during the coffee shops and stuff, it's by reading the books, you're getting more creative and you're visualizing different things that you want. I actually think this is a really good place for you to be in, Lisa, and I know that you know that. Paula says writing, improvising with others so we make each other laugh. This is great, okay? Trying to go to someone, planning my farm and animal therapy for sick children. So now Gia has a dream about making money through her cosmetics, selling Mary Kay, which is really a bigger dream about working probably with animals and sick children. Do you see how this works? So you put yourself in the vibration of what you love to do, and all of a sudden solution-minded thinking happens, solution-based thinking happens. And you start realizing that life can change. So Alex says, the energy of bringing them together, the joy of sharing knowledge, which is great, really great. Janet, since before I could read books, reading them, collecting them, and then after age 18, making them, also working with artists and illustrators, I'm good at all that. I just suck at marketing. So hire someone to do the marketing, Janet. Maybe you're not supposed to do marketing. Maybe you need to stop bucking that and fighting that. And you need to figure out how, and then people are like, I can't hire anyone, I'm not making money. Well, you're not going to make money anyway until you hire someone. That might be the truth about what's happening to that. Okay, so we found alignment. So if you're liking what you're hearing and you're thinking you want to know more about Soul Finder Academy, we have an application that you can fill out. Some of you guys have filled it out, but we've added a question in there because if you want to know about Soul Finder Academy, we want to let you know about it. Okay, so we're in SAS, right? So now we're in alignment. We're in soul ignition. We're lighting up our soul because we're doing what we love to do. That gets you in solution-based thinking. And what happens is the universe is like aligned with you. All of a sudden, you get to the 4th S, which is synchronicity. It's synchronicity. So this is when the universe is not confused because you're focusing on lack, scarcity, fear, anxiety, what's not working. You've moved out of that belief. You started remembering the amazing character traits you are, the courageous, the funny, making people laugh, the healer. So you're in that. Now you're starting to have fun. You're not you're like, I don't know how to deal with that, how I'm going to make that money, or how I'm going to have that house. All I know is I'm going to dream about it. I'm going to make it happen somehow. So you're in that soul ignition part, and the universe is like, all right, I know exactly what she wants. And here's the other thing that happens. Your blinders are off because you're no longer just focused on the problem. You're now focused on expansion. You're like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but you stepped into trust. You don't even realize it. You stepped into trust. And then the universe is like, I know what to give her. And the universe starts sending you things. And because you're awake and you're conscious and you're not letting that old belief rule your life, you're now seeing the signs. And you're understanding. And you're like, oh my goodness, there it is. It's showing it to me. Oh my goodness, I'm going to follow this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. So here's what happened to me. So remember, the whole house started calling my father and crying about the situation that I was in, not thinking anything. Because my father, I had a very trouble. I was in family court most of my life. He sued me when I was in college because my mother was trying to get more money out of him to get me out of the neighborhood because I was into so many drugs and stuff. So she wanted to send me away to school, but she didn't have the money. So I was the last child. I was the youngest. So she took him back to court to get more money out of him to try to get me out of the neighborhood. He sued me saying I wasn't a full-time student. Like, I had to go on the stand in family court. And it was like one of the worst years of my life. And so my father, remember, not a great relationship here. When I was 21, they sold the house. We didn't have a home anymore. You know, it didn't matter if I was still in college because I don't think I graduated until I was 22. Anyway, it didn't matter. So all of that is my history, but I'm not there anymore. I'm not playing with it. So I'm in this vibe. I'm going to get this house. I'm going to get this house. I don't know how I'm going to get this house because I have debt, not really making a lot of money, but I'm going to get this house. So my father at the same time sells the house that we grew up in. So he ended up buying it for my mother, and then he ended up selling it. And this is years later. So he's got a chunk of cash now. And someone plants in my head, ask him for the down payment for the house. Ask him for like $250,000. No joke. Like that much money, because I was in LA. And I'm like, that's insane. So I asked my father for a down payment. And my father, I love my father actually, but he was a very tricky man. So he would go back and forth like, I'm giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. I'm not giving it to you. And he was like, I'll only give it to you if you let me live with you. And the person who was advising me was like, just tell him he could live with you. He'll never live with you. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie to my father. So I said to him, no, you're not living with me. Don't give me the money then. And meanwhile, I'm looking at houses. So I find a house and I'm like, I may found the house. This is the house. And he's like, I'm like, are you going to give me the money? You're not going to give me the money. He's like, it's this house or nothing. That's what he tells me. It's this house or nothing. So I'm going to show you something. So I'm like, I want the house really bad. I want the house. And I'm going to show you the house because you just all need to experience this right now with me. Okay. Let me make one of them big. So you can't even see it well here, but let me just show you. So he says it's this house or nothing. So this is the house that I end up buying. I'm trying to, hold on. I want to show you. It was really in bad shape, really bad shape. It had mold. It had everything. It was just horrible and falling down and falling apart. And it was just, this isn't even bad enough. I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you could see how bad this house was. And he gave me the money. He gave me the money to buy the house. So I bought the house and I walked through it and I cried for 2 months because what I bought was mold infested, falling apart, had to be completely gutted, was horrible, absolutely horrible. And I was like, what the fuck did I do? I was so scared, so scared. And I want to just show you this because I think I want to take you on this journey with me so you could see this. Okay, I'm going to take you on this journey with me. So this is what I bought. And I'm a first-time homeowner. That doesn't look too bad, but trust me, the whole thing had to be gutted. The floors, everything had to be gutted. It was just a total wreck. It may not look that bad. The shower tiles, I had a contractor walk through the house. He tapped the shower tiles. They all just started falling. The shower pan was about to fall apart. Like everything was just horrible. Absolutely horrible. So this is when they started ripping it apart. So I learned that I had to construct the whole house, had to reconstruct it. And remember calling my father saying there's mold. And my cousin died like the same day. And here's the story though. I didn't go back I did for a bit, but I had the subconscious belief, I'm not good enough. I bought a crappy house. Not true. Not true. Went into alignment, remembering who I am. I want a house so bad. So Spirit sent me the most amazing architect. He gave it to me for half price. He just took me through every single piece of it. And then the Soul Ignition, I got that vision book. Everything that I had in that vision book, I now got to design my house. And then the synchronicity, the contractor, the tiles, every single thing. I had a TV show, do the garage. Everything that I wanted, I ended up getting. And the house was beautiful. And then I was in a ton of debt. And I was petrified. And I went back to the belief system and working with my guides and alignment and soul ignition and synchronicity and got out of debt. And then I'm trying to find pictures of the house so I can show you how gorgeous it was, but I can't find it right now. And then I sold the house 2 years ago for a very big profit. That's my story. Okay. So if you're interested in learning more about Soul Finder Academy, where you learn how to walk through these steps. And I'm going to take your questions in a second, guys. And even if you can't do it, I just really put chat in down below and you'll get the application and you can learn more about it. So you think that there's no possibility. You think you have a belief that tells you that it's not true. You failed at the dream. I could have easily gone into the place of when I bought the house and I realized how bad the house was, I did go to that place of I suck. I'm such a loser. I make such bad decisions. Oh my God. Like my brother was like, you're an idiot. And I didn't stay there long. If I stayed there, it wouldn't have worked out the way it did. But instead my house, I wish I could find the pictures because it was absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't stay there. I went into alignment again, remembering who I was. No, I'm the person who gets what she wants. I'm the person who puts a vision out there and spirit supports me. Then I ignited my soul. I didn't know how I was going to. I remember one of the contractors was walking in and he's like, how are you going to pay for this? I'm like, I'm getting a loan. He's like, you can't get a loan just like that. I was like, watch me. I got the loan. I got the loan. And then synchronicity. I mean, this architect, John Browse, the most beautiful man in the world, helped me. Like I was crying every day and he just made this vision. So you've got to remember this. You've got to take that problem or that dream and you've got to first go to the belief system that's stopping you from having that dream come true. You've got to deal with that. And if it's like Janet, who didn't know why things shifted, that's okay. You know, an age where it originated, you could start working with that little girl inside of you, start believing, besides the fact that she was scared and fearful and shy, she still was innovative and liked to read books and maybe color. There's still always a positive aspect. So you got to get into alignment with who you really are. Who are you? That's where you need to create your life from. Not from the scarcity, not from the subconscious thinking, not from the belief systems that aren't serving you, not from the outside forces, from alignment. And then you light that up. And the way that you light that up is not necessarily through, I'm making more money. It's more like, I like coloring. Or it's like Lisa saying, I'm going to go to the coffee shop. I'm going to read books. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this problem. Lisa's in both my programs. She knows, like, I don't know how. And I'm not telling you. I started out this call where I'm tired of spiritual teachers telling you, take this class and you'll be healed forever. No, take this class and you'll have techniques and tools to navigate your life and to live a better life. Now, there's more to this story, which is how I got this house, which is, a lot of you've seen this. That's how I live. That's what I live in now. So I continued on with this story. And then the synchronicity is just mind blowing because it's a symphony. It's an absolute symphony where the universe and you are co-creating together. So I want to take some of your questions right now and help anybody who's, Catherine, yeah. Help anybody. If you're just signing on, I would go back to the beginning of this video and watch it because I think I love teaching through storytelling because I want you to see I struggle too. But I did these techniques and tools and got through them. And it's an ongoing thing, but it's not as like when I bought this house, you think I'd fucking learn, you think I'd learn. I bought this house and I didn't read the disclosures again. I'm really bad at disclosures. I'm not doing that again. And the day I came in here, the termite guy came over. My realtor's like, what? Nobody uses the termite guy to do the stuff. And he points to my deck and he goes, oh, this whole deck is going to fall down. I'm like, what? And the deck's galvanized, so it's in the house. And I just had the floors done. I was like, and then the designer I had with me who was helping me, like just interior design, she was an ass. And I was flabbergasted. And then I found out the carport leaked. It wasn't in the disclosures. And again, I was like, fuck, I did it again. But this house is actually great. That's the only two, like the deck really isn't that bad. And the carport's not that bad. And these are fixable things. And I can add a third floor here. And, it was great. But I went through it again, but I didn't have to take, months, or I didn't like say, that's it, my life sucks. I was like, all right, I had my moment. And then I was like, let me deal with this. Let me deal with it. And then I dealt with it through the things that I'm teaching you, which is subconscious thinking. What's the belief? Oh, I suck. I'm a loser. I did it again. That was the belief that came up. You make bad choices. Alignment. No, I did this for a reason. I'm going through this for a reason. God is teaching me something. I always figure things out. I don't want to make decisions like this anymore. So I want to learn, but I also know I can make better decisions moving forward. Soul ignition. I'm hiking all over the place. I'm going to enjoy the nature. I'm going to enjoy where I'm at. Then I meet the right people and then the synchronicity happens. Okay. So let's see. So you're going to have to go back to the beginning because this is a storytelling hour where I was teaching you the SAS technique. And then the chat below is if you want to learn more about my class, Soul Finder Academy. If you want to learn more about Soul Finder Academy, it's an application you can fill out. You don't have to get on the phone with anybody. You can just learn about it. So, whoops, by putting in chat. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is a good question. Let me get Paula's. Whoops. Our question, if you miss a synchronistic opportunity, do you think that once we realize it, we can get that opportunity back completely? If you miss a synchronistic opportunity, Paula, you want to go through the SAS technique again, because you want to ask yourself, what was the subconscious thinking that made me miss the synchronistic opportunity? What is the subconscious thinking now? Oh, I can't have it back. Oh my goodness, I can never have it back. Oh, I screwed up. God's not going to give it to me. We want to change that belief right away, right? So maybe we don't know how to change that belief, how to rewrite it in the moment because there's too much of that going on. So we get into alignment. Wait, what do I know to be true? I know that the universe is infinite. I know that the universe is always changing. My alignment is I know that I am working on my spirituality and I know that I create my life from my inside out. So I know that I can have another synchronistic moment. Then we get into soul ignition. So what do I need to do for joy? What is it that I want to come around? What do I have to tell the universe? Like meditate, visualize, walk around. I think one of the best visualization techniques is walking around where you're not going to walk into traffic. Please don't do that. And you're visualizing as you're walking. That's what I do when I'm in the woods or I'm looking at houses or, I'm just like, I can go into another world. I actually have gone into another world where I thought I was someplace else and done that. I thought I was in a parking lot and I forgot to get the poop bag or something. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, wait a second, I got to go. And I was like, wait, I'm not in the parking lot yet. I was in a whole thing. Best time to visualize. And then the universe brings something else even better because that synchronistic moment was also a character building moment and was teaching you something about yourself. Thank you, Lisa. Lisa said, there's truth in having the techniques and tools. I used it at work the other night and walked off and went to the bathroom for a few minutes to calm myself and get out of the energetic discord of my coworkers. I was able to continue to care for my patients and not be upset. Lisa, you're a nurse right now. You're on the front lines. And this is the other thing. I really want to be clear with people. That's a good question, Mary. I'm going to answer that in a second. You're in this experience right now. Everybody's in this experience, whether you're on the front lines, not on the front lines. I think it's definitely, I don't know what it's like to be on the front lines, so I'm not even going to speak to that experience because I can't. I think my experience in COVID-19 is a lot easier than a lot of people that are having experience with it. And I also know that I created a better experience because if I was living in LA, it would have been horrible for me. So I created nature and hiking trails that I can still hike and all that. But I just want everybody to be aware that there's still stuff happening. So the fact that you navigated that moment, Lisa, in that moment is so great. It's so beneficial. I want people to be aware that you're still in a moment and that you have to kind of just breathe through it right now and use this technique to breathe through it. Because the past 2 weeks when I felt like I was coming apart at the seams, it was really uncomfortable. And there weren't many people who had the patience to walk through it with me. And I felt like a really needy person. And that's not normally my thing because I go to them, you know, but I was like, this is so, I don't know what to, I need to talk it out. And I talked to them, but I need it. And you just need to know also, well, you're in a situation right now. You're in an experience right now. You got to be kind to yourself through it. Okay. I want to just see anybody else. Oh, I want to take this question. Mary said, so how do you get to the subconscious thinking if it is subconscious? By becoming aware and conscious. So what you do is in your everyday life, I teach things in SFA, how to get conscious right away. In Soul Finder Academy, I teach it. What you do is you become conscious in the moments and you start thinking, what was I just thinking? What was my thoughts? How was I talking to myself? And that brings you to the subconscious thinking. See, everybody, especially COVID's pausing us, but we're usually running and not thinking what we're thinking in the moment. Most of you, one of the first things I teach people is what's the first thing you say to yourself in the morning when you wake up? And people are shocked by what they're saying to themselves in the morning. So that's what, that's how you get conscious. Let me just see if there's anybody else. Okay, great. I think that's it. All right, guys. So if you're interested in Soul Finder Academy, you can just type chat down below and we will give you the thing. You type chat down below and then remember the techniques and the tools. I'd love to hear your takeaways. I want to hear your takeaways. And also I'd love for you to walk through this. So in the next like 48 hours, I would love for you guys to go into, like, Mary, that was such a good question. Thank you for that. What am I thinking? Like, I want to change jobs. What's my belief around that? What do I think my belief is around that? Well, I don't think I can change jobs because nobody's going to hire me at this age. All right, there you got a belief. Instead of fighting the belief, let's get into alignment. What's the truth? What's the truth of your soul, who you are? Then the soul ignition, do something fun, joyful, exciting, visualize having what you want, get out of the problem and get into solution. And then the synchronicity happens. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. And please give me the takeaways. And if you like this video, please share it. And I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.